Hey guys, it's Sam. Just thought I would do another video here from my car. And today I wanted to discuss the idea of backstories in your RPG for your characters and whether or not they're important or not when you begin a game. This one has been particularly interesting to me because for me, I feel like, especially as a player, it's very important for me to understand my character going into a game so that I can feel more comfortable role-playing them. But what I find is that typically I actually have a more rewarding experience when I just stay in the moment and when I interact with and react to what the players' characters are doing in the game. Sometimes that's informed by a backstory, right? Sometimes I will have a basic concept of what my character was like, in their background, and I will, I will role play accordingly. But what's really prompted this is I'm going to be playing in a game of the Black Hack here coming up this weekend, and it's going to be basically keep on the Borderlands, but we're just using the Black Hack rule set, which I'm very excited about. I've never gotten to play the Black Hack, and I've never gotten to play Keep on the Borderlands, both things I've wanted to do. And the Black Hack, if you're not familiar with it, is basically it's trying to emulate sort of old school gaming, right? OSR gaming, and it's a really slick rule set. I like it a lot. I'm very excited to play it. But what's interesting about it is that it is also pretty deadly, right? Like most OSR games are, it's, your characters don't have a high chance of survival. And to me, that's really interesting because to me, I don't want to add a ton of backstory into a character, right? Because I don't know if the character will survive past the first session. Where, in a more modern system of D&D like 5th edition, you have backgrounds, bonds, flaws, and ideals right on your character sheet, and they're encouraged at first level. And I like that. I mean, that's one of the parts of the system that I like a lot. So I go back and forth with this thinking, but, obviously in 5th edition, characters they have a lot higher chance of survival, I think, than in OSR games. And so I think that background and those traits are important because I think that they can help inform how you role play things. And I would encourage players in more modern systems to really work on those things together, especially if you're going to be doing campaign play, tie them into each other. Like I love how the Fate Core RPG does that, where you basically pick your high concept and your trouble aspect, but then character creation, the three other aspects, or 2 others, 4 others, whatever, go through based on other adventures that you would have done with the other players in the game, right? And so you're creating aspects of your character based on interactions that you've had with your group. That's awesome. But then we come back to OSR. And a lot of this is also informed by the fact that I'm reading through Basic Fantasy RPG right now, and it's definitely capturing my imagination and, making me think that I want to run it. Although, I don't know, there's some things about the rule set that I'm not totally a fan of. I may end up using something like Black Hack or White Box Fantasy, Fantastic Medieval Adventure Game. I don't know yet, but I want to play some OSR games. I want to run some OSR games. And I love the idea of the resource management part of it and, the idea of hiring retainers and, if you make it to higher level, doing things like, building a keep, building a wizard's tower, building a thieves guild, a temple, whatever, that kind of stuff. The larger picture stuff beyond just going into a dungeon and looting it. And what I wonder is, does it make sense in games like those to have a backstory? I think something very basic is okay. Like, for example, my character in the Black Hat game that Alan's going to be running on his channel, Check for Traps, is a fighter. His nickname is the Prince because supposedly he has noble background or noble heritage, and that he doesn't generally like thieves or scoundrel types, right? He'll defer to the cleric in matters of religious aspects. He'll defer to the magic user when it comes to spells, and he will grudgingly defer to the thief when it comes to, you know, traps and stuff like that. But he doesn't like the thief, right? Now, I don't know why that's the case. I just kind of thought about that. I just kind of came up with that. And so, but that's it. I don't know right now what his noble lineage is or what his noble background is. Or if he does have one, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just claims that he does, right? You know, I haven't gone into what his past has been like, you know, why he is an adventurer. Because one, I don't know if he's going to survive, right? I mean, I think I ended up rolling him with a 5 constitution. So, you know, one shot with any kind of poison and I'm, you know, I don't know. It might not be a good thing. So, you know, that in and of itself lends to some role play, right? Where maybe he's sickly, maybe he has a cough, maybe whatever. I don't know. I'll think about that and play that. But I'm not going to come up with a whole backstory for him, because I want to develop that during the game. And frankly, I want to focus on the interaction with the other characters and just see how they react and what they do. And that way I can inform my character and we can create a story together, right? So what do you guys think about that in terms of more modern gaming, different systems and whatever? Do you think that backstory is important? Do you think that it is something that makes sense for the rules? And do you think that you should have a strong backstory before going into a game, especially campaign play? Or do you think that it makes more sense to maybe have a very, very basic, like this is a concept, like a bullet point or a sentence, and then just roll with that? So anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think about backgrounds in games, and happy gaming.